Sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and could even keep you from the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS. Welcome to the No BS Sales School podcast. I'm your host, Walker McKay. Man, it's been a wild couple of months. It's been fun. We've got books. I don't know, they're not flying out the door, but we've sold 700 and something copies of the book. Some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? If you bought a copy and you've read it and you liked it, how about go to Amazon where you bought the book, probably, and leave a review. Let people know what you thought about it. That sure would help me. The more reviews we have, the more that Amazon puts it out in front of people. So if you hadn't gone back to Amazon, leave a review. Even if you didn't buy it on Amazon, give me some stars. Let me know what you thought about it. It's a big help to me, and it's nice for me to know who's read the book. Today, I want to talk to you about the 4 things that are important, the most important for your success in sales, or quite frankly, for anything. And those 4 things are desire, commitment, outlook, and responsibility. Desire, commitment, outlook, and responsibility. So go through those one at a time. Number 1, desire. How bad do you want it? Do you want it, right? How bad do you want success in whatever it is you're talking about and however you define success? Is that something that you wake up in the morning and you say, hell yes, that's something I want, right? And that can be anything from a material outcome of a good action. So it's, do you really want a beach house? Do you really want a new shotgun? Do you really want to take your family to New Zealand? How bad do you want it? Now, what I'm going to tell you is, this is the easiest part. This is the easiest part. Everybody wants to be successful, whatever their version of that is. But are you willing to do the work? And that's where part 2 comes in. This is commitment. How committed are you to doing whatever it takes to get where you want to go? Now, in sales, this can mean a number of things. Number 1, it means you got to be willing to do the damn work. Now, I realize this is a theme of my podcast, and it's a theme of my work a lot, is you got to do the damn work, the unsexy part, the part where you're picking up the phone and you're calling people that don't know you exist and asking them to meet with you, and then ask them to give you money to solve a problem, to have them trust you enough to give you money to solve a problem, make it go away. Here's the thing, desire, easy, commitment, hard. When I was in the commercial real estate business years ago, I was an immature fool, and I wasn't doing the work. I saw these guys that had been in the business for a while. I saw ones that had been in the business the same amount of time as me, and they were making money. They were closing deals, doing what it took, and I attributed a lot of it to luck. Right? They just got lucky. That shit fell in their lap. But I began to see, because it's an excuse, right? I began to see the whole business as, well, maybe I'll get lucky this time. Well, what's the problem with believing that maybe I'll get lucky this time, or I'm just unlucky? Those become, well, it's a lack of responsibility. And I'll get to that in a minute, but it's taking all responsibility off of you. I mean, how can you be committed to good luck? I mean, that doesn't happen. Now, I say that in the same breath as I do believe fully that we do make our own luck. The more opportunities you have, the more opportunities you create, which takes commitment, by the way, more opportunities you create, the more lucky that you're going to be. You're not going to get all of them. You're probably only going to get a small percentage of them. Have you noticed that? Right? We work on a lot of deals, or you're supposed to. You're supposed to be talking to a lot of different people, working on a lot of different deals. You disqualify the ones quickly that you know aren't going to close. There's no pain. You're not talking to the right decision maker. There's no budget. There's really not a problem that they're dealing with, right? Those are the ones we say, well, thank you very much. Sounds like things are going great, and I'll talk to you another time. Move on. No value in hanging around somewhere where somebody is not going to make a change. We got to be committed to our own success, which means this one isn't the right one. I'm going to the next one. I'm going to the next one. I'm going to the next one. Commitment means work on, it's a metaphor, I think. We want to focus a lot on how hard we're pushing the gas pedal and not so much on our speed limit, not so much on what the speedometer says. Here's the trick we play on ourselves, right? Let's pretend you got a very full pipeline. You got plenty of stuff in there, and you say to yourself, maybe it's just subconsciously, wow, I'm so busy that if all these things close, I won't be able to handle it all. And we say to ourselves, gosh, if only half of these things close, I'll make my number. And so then we focus on how do I, quote, make these things close versus how do I keep throwing shit in the top of the pipeline? Because that's what gives us our freedom. If your pipeline is full and you're getting better and better and better at disqualifying deals that shouldn't be in there, then you can recognize, then you can walk away from stuff very easily that you get the feeling, you see red flags, you can recognize red flags. You're not selling based on hope, right? You actually understand what's really going on with each one of those. And you're committed to finding more deals. I promise. If you have a whole lot of deals that are closing at one time, you can figure out a way to make it work. But usually, when you say things like, if half of these close, I'll have made my number, this would be great, but I won't be able to handle them all. It usually doesn't happen that way. You've got time. I promise. Keep pressing the gas pedal. Ignore the speedometer. The more deals you have, the harder you can qualify, disqualify, not waste time with people that aren't ready for you yet. You don't have to do things like, try and convince somebody to do business with you. Work, commit to your own success, doing whatever it takes. And that can be the prospecting part. It can also be getting your brain ready to do this, getting your body ready to do this. One of the things I've committed to do is being more healthy. I've committed to going to the gym 7 days a week. So I go to the gym 7 days a week. I do cardio 5 days a week. I lift weights 2 days a week. Every week, in, out, in, out. That's what I do. I've lost some weight. I feel better. My brain works better. I've also committed to eating more whole foods. At home, we cook most of our own foods. We make that stuff. We have the ingredients, the vegetables, the meats, the whatever. We make most of the shit and we eat it. It takes a little bit of time. My kids are grown up. I've got time to do that. But I don't want to eat junk. I want to feel better about myself. I want to feel healthier, helps my brain. I'm committed to my own success. And part of my success is not just business, it's success in my family, success in my life, success in living a more full life, so I have more opportunities. Commitment, doing the hard shit. The next piece is outlook. This is, what do you believe about today and the future? And do you believe that everything's going to hell and there's no reason to really work, right? And this can be a subconscious thing. Do you believe that the economy sucks or everything's going to hell or it's not going to be the right thing or you're just not lucky and that's just not the way it works? Well, if that's what you believe, guess what? You're going to create your own results. You will tell yourself, why would I even go work? Nobody's going to buy this shit that I have. Why would I even go work out? Everybody in my family has a heart attack in their 50s anyway. Why do I freaking care? Right? If your outlook is, I have the ability to make changes in my life, to make better things go on. If you have that belief, and outlook is, you're a lifelong learner because you know shit's important, right? Outlook is, I'm going to make myself as healthy as possible so I can withstand the bigger storms. There's plenty of opportunities out there. And here's the thing. If you look at your business and you say, oh my God, I'm at this point a mid-level software engineer, right? And my job's already being outmoded in other companies around the country. So my job doesn't have a future. I get it. AI, tough. It's going to replace a bunch of people. Then your outlook needs to be, I'm committed to my own success, financially and otherwise. What is another way that I can make money? How can I take the skills that I have or the things I've developed, or how do I pivot to do something else? Because I'm responsible for my own success. And if this path isn't taking me to success, I'm going to go find another path, right? Because I'm going to win. That's your outlook, is believing in the long run, am I going to be a winner or am I going to be a victim? In my world, there's no place for being a victim. Subconsciously, consciously, I get beat up every now and then, more often than I like. Bad shit happens and I feel sorry for myself and I wham for just a few minutes or a little longer. And I go, all right, fuck it. It's up to me. I got to move forward. I'm going to win. I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. That's how I see myself. That's how I want you to see yourself. That should be the natural form. I'm going to win overall by the end, no matter what. And the last one is responsibility. Do you take responsibility for your success and your failure? I used to, again, we're back to this luck thing, right? It's bad luck or it's good luck or it's the economy or it's my boss or it's the stupid customers or it's whatever, right? Not my fault. I can't help it. People, and we say shit like, people from my family, people with my education would never be able to, blah, 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 blah. Or those guys will never call me back, or I don't belong here, right? Those are excuses. They're a cancer for your success. They will eat your ass up. And whether or not, again, maybe some of those things are subconscious. Maybe they're not conscious thoughts, but they're in the background of your mind. I used to have a very negative voice in my head. I would say horrible things to myself about, you're not worthy, you shouldn't be here, you don't fit, right? Nobody's going to buy from you, you don't deserve this. I had a lot of that in my head. And I read something, I don't know, I guess I read it recently. Luckily, I've calmed a lot of the negative thoughts in my head. I still got them, but they're not quite as loud as they used to be. But I read something about why we have that chatter in our head, the negative chatter especially. It's self-protecting. And we believe that if we say it to ourselves, it will soften the blow in case somebody says it to us from the outside. How often, well, maybe some of you this does happen. It's often it's the people that love you the most will say the shittiest things to you, right? But it gets us a really bad habit where we're afraid somebody's going to say something shitty to us. And so we say it to ourselves first to soften the blow. Recognize that most of the time, I hope, all the time, we're a hell of a lot meaner to ourselves than anybody else is. Own your place where you are right now. You're doing exactly what you're doing based on the decisions you've made in the past. And if you've made shitty decisions in the past, hey, it happens. I've made shitty decisions in the past too, right? Some of them that felt shitty at the time that turned out to be okay. Some of them felt okay at the time, turned out to be shitty, right? It's just life. We don't know what's going to happen next. Point being, if you're in a shitty place and you're feeling sorry for yourself, all right, then work one step at a time. Take responsibility. Say, I'm here because of choices that I made. I'm going to get out of this because of choices I've made. And that can be something like just making the choice to, I'm not going to drink alcohol tonight. I am not going to eat a cheeseburger at lunch. I'm going to eat something healthier than that. I'm going to make 5 prospecting calls today because I haven't made any prospecting calls in quite some time. All right. Make a choice to move forward. And at the end of the day, you've called 5 prospects and shit, none of them answer the phone. Okay. You're taking a step forward. You're planting seeds. Make 5 more, 15 more, 50 more. Take the steps to move forward. Take responsibility for your own success. Don't say, nobody will buy from me. Say, I haven't figured out how to sell what I have. I haven't figured out how to make my stuff work in this marketplace. Haven't figured out how to sell what I have that costs more than what my competitors have. Own it. Own your wins. Not too haughtily, but just say, yeah, it worked out, right? Own your losses. Man, I screwed that up. My fault. Here's what I need to do differently next time. Own when you fail. And by the way, I fail all the time. When you fail, when you screw something up, go back and look. Do a postmortem. Where'd you screw it up? What's the lesson you learned from it so you don't do that again? Nobody drowns from falling in the water. They drown from failing to get out. What do you need to do to own the problem so that you can say, all right, I screwed that up. What do I need to do next that doesn't happen again? I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. Want to learn more? Hell, buy my book. Some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? Available at Amazon and your local bookseller if you live in Columbia. Go to All Good Books. Greatest local bookseller in South Carolina, as far as I'm concerned. Go get them. If you want my help, pick up the phone and call me, 803-917-2817. I've had a lot of you guys reach out to me lately, and I appreciate it. It's nice to hear your voice, nice to put a face with a name. We can have a video call. If you want my help, we work with people in a lot of different ways, from group classes to corporate classes to sometimes one-on-one coaching. So anyway, happy to talk with you. Thank you for listening. Share this with somebody else who needs to hear it. Thanks for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast. If you're struggling to close deals, then I want to invite you to take my free mini course, where you'll learn the 7 most expensive sales mistakes that will cost you time, money, and credibility. So be sure to click the link in the show notes or go to www.7salesmistakes.com. That's the number 7salesmistakes.com. Thanks again for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast.